And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Sagittarius for 2016. Let's deal with the individual dates first and then we'll summarise it. Pluto being in the next door sign to you, well, he's not touching you. There's no sign of any type of extremism or intensity or crises or anything like that. Neptune, however, is having a bit of a go at you. Over this last year, Neptune's been particularly affecting those Sagittarians born around the 29th, 30th of November. It's been a really weird year, confusing and tiring. This will clear for those of you born at the end of November by the time you're into February, March. But from then on, Neptune's going to really start having a bit of a dig at those of you born around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of December. And if you're one of these, you can expect over this coming year isolated periods of up to a day long of fatigue. This is not illness, disease or infection, it is fatigue and weariness. When the answer is you feel tired, you go home, you have a bath, you go to bed, and then the next day you're fine. If you fight it, you'll be down for a week. It's tiredness, that's all, and it's a deep-rooted tiredness that bears little relation to the day-by-day situation. Of course, Saturn is also in your sign, and over the first 9 months of the year, Saturn is really going to be strongly testing those of you born from the 2nd through to about the 9th of December. The period of January through to September is a time of bloody hard work. No shortcuts, do everything the hard way, put your nose to the grindstone, take one step at a time, and you'll find that by doing so you put in place roots and foundations that should then set you up for the long-term future. But there's no shortcuts with Saturn. Words like structure, self-discipline, focus, concentration and priorities are the order of the day. Later in the year, October, November, December, Saturn's going to be particularly looking at those people born around the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, even possibly the 13th of December, in a way that will also bring the need for discipline and focus and concentration into their lives. Jupiter's not doing you any favours either, at least at the beginning of the year. Those people born from about the 5th through to the 15th of December. The first 4 months of this year are a time of retrospect. Do not put your foot on the accelerator. Step back and reassess what's happened at the end of 2015. Learn your lessons from it. That way, the time of May, June, July, you can make small steps forward, taking the cream of the crop rather than the excess. But once Jupiter moves into Libra, around early September onwards, then you'll find that you're in a much better position to be able to achieve a degree of growth and consistency because you and Libra get on quite well. But the big news of 2016 involves Mars. Mars is going to dip its head into Sagittarius from the second week of March onwards, and then from then onwards through to mid-late April it's going to slow down until it goes retrograde and then goes backwards. It'll leave Sagittarius around the end of May for a couple of months, until it then moves back into Sagittarius again at the start of August before it finally leaves at the end of September. This is a three-pronged process. The time of March and early April is potentially very impulsive, volatile and potentially disruptive. The time of mid-April through to late May is very retrospective and reassessing. And then the time of August and September, when Mars is in Sagittarius properly, you can do things properly. But especially if you're one of those Sagittarians born in November, please be aware that March and the first half of April is quite a provocative time, and you could easily shoot yourself in the foot by saying or doing something that you'd later regret. Be aware of this and count to 10. Here's my message to Sagittarius and to the world in general. And big thank you to all those Saggies who have helped me over this last year. If I were to summarise 2016, I'd say, well, the first half of the year with both Mars and Saturn in your sign is going to be very proactive. You're going to have to make some decisions, and you're going to have to tread the middle ground whilst doing it in the face of a desire to go to extremes. But the more you get into the second half of the year, the more you're going to see results from the efforts you're making in the first half of the year. And if you're prepared to put the effort in this year, you should find that the more you get towards the end of the year, the more you've got something really solid, and not only solid but permanent, to show for your efforts. So as far as 2016 goes, Sagittarius, have an industrious year.